We all experience fear, whether it's having to do that presentation in front of all your colleagues, or whether it's going on a date, you haven't been dating for a long time. I think sometimes people can underestimate how crippling fear can actually be. But it's good to understand that, fear affects all of us, because the truth is that how I may perceive something to be a safe thing to do, and I may not have any feelings of fear around it. For example, meeting up with friends. Another person may find that situation to be something that is really scary. But what we have to understand is there are ways to overcome fear. And I think one of the things that we experience is the fear of getting started with many things.
If we think about fear in general, I mean, we have a certain perspective because of our age. Now, if you think about fear of dating, how would you relate that to people over 40 compared to being in your 20s?
I think even though you have people who are over 40, it also depends on the individual. If they are used to dating at over 40, then they may not be fearful about it. But if they're going through a divorce and haven't dated for years, then they may be scared to try something which is now new for them.
Yeah, so are you saying that you will have less fear the more that you are used to doing something, the more experience you have?
I think so. I think that when you're stepping out of your comfort zone, it can be very scary because you don't know what to expect. So that's why if you are, for example, planning to move overseas and you have never been to that place before and you're just so scared, or even if you're moving to a different city, I think planning what to expect, planning what you could see, planning what networks you can form, helps to combat the level of fear that you may be feeling.
From my perspective, if I think about fear, if I relate it to YouTube, to starting a channel, starting your own YouTube channel, I initially felt fear. And if I think about why did I feel fear? Why was I scared? Why was I anxious about starting the channel? There's many reasons. It's about expectations. Will people watch this? Or actually, no one is going to watch this, and no one's going to see the effort and that you put into it. So you're worried, you're scared of failing, you're scared of no one liking what you're creating. But I think that's part of life. I think everyone is not going to like something that you do, something that you say. But I think if it's something that you really want to do, then go for it.
Yes, I think that fear of failure is quite a huge thing, because the way we perceive failure is that if we fail at something, then we are really bad at it. We don't see that you can improve, you can get better, and then you can get to the point where you wanted to initially be at. That it is a learning curve instead of something so horrible, and to reshape the way you think about failure. Because when we think of failure as the end to everything, we get scared of even starting something new.
If you are an actor or in the creative industry, I think you'll have a lot of rejections, and I think you'd get used to that, and it's just part and parcel of the job.
That reminds me of Phoebe from Friends, who I think she acted so brilliantly in Friends, but she actually got selected to take part in Frasier as an actress. She was hired to take part in Frasier. And then the person who plays Frasier, Kelsey Grammer, he didn't feel she was the right fit, and then she got fired. And, obviously she was sad about it. Who wouldn't be? But she kept on, being an actress, and eventually she landed the role in Friends. Now, if she had completely given up and felt that she was an utter failure and there was no hope for her, then she wouldn't have gone on to act in one of the most famous TV series of all times. So
Yeah.
you never know when that opportunity is going to come through.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say, don't take it personal. Don't take it personally. I think there may be times when you can see it as an opportunity to grow. Like, say, if you fail at something, it could be a test. Then it's black or white. You did badly on the test. Then you have to think, okay, now I need to improve my study techniques. I need to look at how much time I'm spending on something. In those cases, you can't change. Even if it's something that you don't like doing, you have to stick with it. So it's to minimize that failure. Say you don't like studying for this certain subject, but you still have to do it anyway. You've got an exam. So then you have to change your mindset to say, okay, what can I like about this? And if you fail and you have to retake it, then you can look at ways to improve. But generally in other areas of life, I think, having that attitude that if I fail at something, it's okay. I'm going to fail more than other people have even tried. So eventually you will succeed. If you keep knocking on the door, you'll find another door. You go through the window. You get a ladder, you climb up to the attic, you find a way. But I think it's understanding, and having regular check-ins with yourself. If you're in a career, if you're in a profession, if you're doing even a hobby, and you like it, but you're struggling with it, then, have some alone time, think about, do I really like this? Why do I like it? And then reignite that enthusiasm. Because for me, having drive and having a system is more important than motivation, because motivation will come and go. So if you've tried something, you're really motivated, but you fail, then you will stop because you're waiting for the motivation to come again. Whereas if you have a system and you have the drive, if you fail, okay, I failed, I'm going to try again tomorrow, not in a week's time, not in a month's time. I'm going to try again straight away. Obviously, you can have a little bit of a break, but that drive and I think that energy to keep practicing, to keep carrying on, is very important.
Yes, and I think that with fear, like for example, you're starting a new job and you're scared to meet new colleagues, you're scared and you think, will I actually be able to do well at this job? Was it better to just stay in my other job where I wasn't so as senior? But you also have to understand that some things take an adjustment time. I will always advocate for having a diary, because when you write down your thoughts, or even you can type out your thoughts, whatever suits you best, you actually get to know your hopes and your fear. You get to understand why you're hopeful about something versus why you're fearful about something. And then you can work towards overcoming those fears. Now, if you're scared of public speaking, I'm not going to say go and speak in front of 1,000 people, but maybe if you're part of a social group, maybe you can actually ask questions when you're have meetings, and take small steps. And mindset, again, I will always say that mindset is so key to unlocking so much good in our lives. When you create a mindset of, I can try something and it's okay if it doesn't work out, and I can reroute myself onto a different path, or maybe I can try again, then that fear of being a failure, that fear of not getting things done in the right way, that fear of comparing yourself to others, those things become not the norm in your life anymore. So having that positive mindset definitely helps you to minimize the number of fears that you have.
I mean, going on that topic of public speaking, I think it's a fear that's really common. For myself, I enjoy public speaking because I feel if I concentrate on the message that I'm giving, I quite enjoy it. Obviously, if I'm not prepared, then I would be scared. Then I would be having that fear if I don't feel prepared. But the level of feeling prepared is different for each individual. Like, you don't have to be totally obsessed that, okay, I need to say everything correct. As long as you have the information and you're focusing on the audience that are listening to what you're saying. And so even if you forget your words, you remember, what's the general message? And what's the feeling that I want to give, that I want people to have? Because they're taking their time to listen to me. If I'm just focusing on the thought that they are just looking at me and I can't forget what I'm going to say, that will come to fruition, rather than focusing on, okay, let me enjoy this. Even if I don't do well, I can learn from this. So it's having, like, I think you're correct, it's all about having the mindset of feeling that fear, doing it anyway, and if it doesn't work out, you can reassess and try again and keep trying again and not giving up.
Yes. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up and think that you're always going to be scared of so many things in your life. Be kind to yourself when you speak to yourself. That's so, so important. And like we said, everybody gets scared at times. Everybody has certain fears in their lives. It is normal. We're all human beings, and we all have human emotions. So don't be so hard on yourself, and also be patient with yourself. Let us know how you are working towards overcoming your fears. And thank you so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, bye.
Bye-bye.